Well, I was with Seth for 10 years. I was berated, ignored, made to feel less than, and I got sick of begging him to love me. And I was like, Seth, what happened?
You know, that's a question you should ask yourself.
You didn't care.
Plaintiff Quinn Robinson says her baby daddy destroyed her one-of-a-kind family heirlooms when he moved them without her permission. She's suing for $2,500. Defendant Seth Haskins says it's not his fault the items were damaged, since the plaintiff didn't pack them properly. He claims he owes nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Najee. How are you?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Good.
This is case number 109 on the docket, Robinson versus Haskins.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge.
I see we have here the plaintiff, Quinn Robinson, and you are suing your baby's daddy, Seth Haskins, for $2,500 for property damage. So, Quinn, why don't you start? Why did you bring this case?
I've been with Seth I was with Seth for 10 years. During the entire time that we were together, we lived together. We made a home for ourselves. We grew together. And unfortunately, we broke up. There was a lot of issues on both sides, issues that I take accountability for, and issues that he might not take accountability for, but that happened. So we broke up, and we ended up moving out of our apartment that we shared together. I moved in with my best friend, and he moved in with a mutual friend of ours. During that time, we had collectively collected a number of things together, multiple things, and where we were both going, neither one of us were able to take all of our stuff with us. So when we both moved out, he put the stuff in the storage unit. There was a lot of stuff that was still in there that I could not take simply because my apartment was extremely small. I live in a 900 square foot apartment, one bedroom with my 5-year-old that me and the defendant shared together. Inside of that storage unit were like 2 tables from my grandmother with glass tops that were made just for her. They have her initials engraved on them. China, cups, plates, saucers, silverware, washer and dryer, my daughter's entire bedroom set, toys, you name it, it was in there. Seth just recently moved out of where he was, and he moved into a newer apartment, a bigger apartment. And he had already moved everything out of the storage unit, and by this time he called me at 8 o'clock at night to tell me, hey, are you home? Well, no, I'm not home. What's up? Well, I have your stuff in this truck, and I need to drop it off at your house.
So he didn't ask you to come and pick up your stuff from the storage unit?
No, he didn't. He told me the day of, after he had already pulled everything out of the storage unit, he had called me at 8 o'clock that night and was in the process of going to my house. I do have an Exhibit C5 where he did call me, but he called me at 8 o'clock at night. And this was the first time that he ever called me about any of this.
Okay.
That's not true.
This is the first time when he called me to tell me, are you home? That's the first thing he asked me, are you home? I said, Seth, you have a key to my apartment. I gave you a key to my apartment in case of emergencies. He said, you know what? You're right. All right, cool. I got home at about 12:30, 1 a.m., and my living room looked like a tornado had blown through it. Bags and broken glass and everywhere. My tabletops, the glass that goes inside of the tables, have been completely broken. He didn't even have the decency to put them away. They were all over the table, all over the floor. The china in my bin was broken. I called him and I said, Seth, what happened? What? Of course I was angry and there was some profanity. I did curse at him. Well, it got broken in transit. It's not my fault. Yes, it is, Seth. It's been in the storage unit for all this time and it never got broken. And now when you decide to move it into my apartment, now all of a sudden this stuff is broken. So I called the roommate, the one that we originally agreed on, that was supposed to help him move the stuff in. And I said, what happened to my stuff? He says, well, I don't know. I wasn't the one who helped him move it in. So I called Seth back and I was like, Seth, who helped you move my stuff into my apartment? You already know who helped me move it in. No, because you have 2 roommates, and one of them I definitely told you I did not want to know where I stayed, did not want them in my apartment, did not want them in my complex. So I need to know exactly who helped you move my stuff into my apartment. To which he told me it was his girlfriend that helped him move my stuff into the apartment. I have a huge problem with his girlfriend. I do not like her, and I've made it known to her that I do not like her, and I do not want her around me. I don't want her near my apartment. I do not want her to know where I stay. I did not want her anywhere in my vicinity.
Did you know that she didn't want your current girlfriend or girlfriend at the time in her house?
Tell the truth.
I did. She did. She doesn't like her. She doesn't want her around. But when she says that she didn't want to know where she lived, she already knew where she lived because she would come with me to pick up my daughter up on the weekends.
And I had told you before then, that I did not want her to be there.
Again, my roommate said no. I asked him, I said, hey, can you come and help me bring the stuff to Quinn's place? He said no for his own reasons. So I couldn't just bring everything in there by myself. Some stuff is really heavy, so I got the only help that was willing to help.
That's not true.
Now, she did say, and I have it in text, that she does not want me she wants me to keep an eye on her. That way, Quinn can't say she did anything. And I did watch her the entire time. All we did was bring the stuff into the living room, drop it off in the living room. We didn't go around our house to do anything. We took it off the truck, dropped it off in the living room, and even the glass that was part of the table, I put it all together and put it in one spot. I didn't throw it around like she says I did.
When you guys brought it over to the storage back when you first did you notice then that it was broken?
Tell the truth.
No.
None of it was broken.
It wasn't broken at the time, no, sir. I'm going to say that I don't owe her anything simply because she failed to pack her stuff up correctly. All this glass that she keeps talking about wasn't even wrapped up, and it wasn't wrapped up in blankets. It wasn't wrapped up in paper or anything. In fact, the china she keeps talking about that belonged to her grandmother, when we first picked it up from her grandmother's house soon after she passed away, they literally had one of these plastic bins and just threw everything on top of each other. Now, I don't see how that could be my fault that it broke when she had years to pack it up properly, and it never came by and packed it up. She has her own key to the storage, because when I got the storage, it came with 2 keys. I gave her a key and I had my own key, and she never came in and fixed that.
I understand we have a video, so let's take a look at the video here.
These are my grandmother's tables. You see this? Look. He refuses to pay for it. This is the china that my grandmother had. There's broken glasses in here. Look at this. Look. Look.
You guys brought, a year or 2 ago, whenever it was, you originally brought the china to the storage unit. Mm-hmm. It was in that bin that you brought it, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're both telling me that it wasn't broken when you brought it over.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
So we moved it into our old place, and then it was in the bin then. We moved to Atlanta, lived into another apartment for a year and a half, was still in the bin. She never took it out and did nothing with it. And then we eventually went our own separate ways back on July 2019, and we moved it into storage, still in the bin. Again, she has all this time to go in and put it, wrap it up, protect it. She never did.
And why was it still in the bin, Seth?
That's a question you should ask yourself. Why was it still in the bin? I
Could
told
it be
you even when you
because
first
you promised me for 3 years that you were going to get me a china cabinet for it? I was berated, made to feel less than, ignored, pretty much the entire time that we were together. And I just got tired of it. I got sick of begging him to love me like he was supposed to.
So anyways, we put it in storage, and since both of our
Okay.
stuff is in there, we agreed to go half and half on the payments.
I never agreed
As you
to
can
that.
see on evidence A, is it's complete history of all the payments that were made on the storage unit. She only made me 2 payments, and the rest of it came out of pocket. Every time I'd confront her about, hey, are you going to be able to send me the money for the storage? It was always an excuse, so I can't afford it, I can't do it. Now she's taking care of our daughter on the weekdays, so I kind of give her some leeway. But at the same time, we still agreed to go half and half on the storage.
never agreed to
So
that.
in November of 2019, when she moved out and got her own place, she took some stuff out, but still had plenty of stuff in there. I actually went in and downsized the storage unit to where it was only $94 a month instead of the $167 that it originally was, and she still wouldn't give me any money to pay for the storage.
Let me ask this, because the lawsuit isn't about what she either agreed to pay or didn't agree to pay for the storage unit, and you haven't sued her for payment for the storage. The lawsuit is about what happened to the china and the tables, because that is what she is suing for.
Your Honor, the reason why the roommate told him no is because essentially the roommate asked him in the beginning, hey, do you want me to ride with you to go to the storage unit? This is before he even cleared anything out of the storage unit. Seth said no.
I'm getting less concerned with who was with him, even though that's something that's upsetting and maybe he shouldn't have done that. The issue really is going to come down to whether he gave you an opportunity, a reasonable opportunity, to pick up your things yourself. I'm not suggesting at all, Seth, that you did any of this on purpose. In terms, I'm not saying you went in there to break her stuff or your girlfriend went to break the
And
stuff.
I'm not
Right.
either.
But
I would
here's-
never do that.
And I'm
Here's
not
the
either,
part.
but
I
I
know
just
you
want you to
wouldn't.
pay
I
for
know
the
you
stuff that
wouldn't.
was broken.
Okay. Here's what I'm having trouble with, and there are 2 things. The first thing is, once you decided, for whatever reason, Seth, and you had your reasons, you were moving, whatever, but once you decided that you would take it upon yourself to move, admittedly, her property, you assume some level of responsibility of care. Now, if she refused to take it, if she said, you bring it over, I'm not going to, that's a different story. But if you were bringing it over, you bear some responsibility for this. Now I'm going to you, Quinn. You're asking for $2,500. But I don't have any particular evidence that that's what it costs. I know it had sentimental value. I'm not disputing that. You're saying that it was your grandmother's. But you're
Yes, sir.
showing me in your evidence some pictures of China. It's not a picture
sir.
of your particular China. And so therefore, the pictures are nice, but it doesn't mean very much.
The pictures that you see here, they are not the exact ones, but they are
Right.
from the exact company from where this china is from, and it is based off of the type of china. This china was hand painted and registered to my grandmother alone. So the type of china that I have, I can't get it anywhere else. Those tables were also handmade for her alone. So those are tables that I cannot get replaced. Her initials are actually engraved on the other side, on the underside of the tables. Those are things that I cannot replace. I sacrificed so much stuff for him, just in general, during the entire time that we were together. The entire 10 years that we were together, I could honestly say that I've probably spent about $25,000 on him alone.
Okay.
Just in video games,
I am going to-
clothes, shoes.
There's no way.
All right, let me say this to both of you. You strike me as being 2 nice young people that obviously it was a relationship that went south. And I can't really give you personal counseling. People love who they love, and if the relationship doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you do have a child, and
Yeah,
this
he's still my very best
constant-
friend. Like,
yeah.
I don't have any ill will or anything towards him. I just want him to pay
Okay.
for the stuff that he damaged.
There is no question that the china and the table, well, particularly the china, has sentimental value. And so there should be some money given to her because, Seth, even if your intentions at the time were good, the fact is You took responsibility for whatever your reasons were. You took responsibility to bring this stuff over. And once you did that, you kind of got to bear the risk. You didn't do anything intentionally. I'm not going to say that it's $2,500. And the reason I'm saying it's not $2,500 is I don't know the specific value of it. It's obviously worth more to you than to other people because it has that sentimental value, and I believe that is worth something. I fined for the plaintiff $1,000. Thank you, both of you.
The simple fact that he didn't care as much as I did, and he spit on it. He spit on it. He didn't care.
I loved her grandmother, so I know how sentimental she was. I mean, it's not like I did anything on purpose. I wasn't just gonna walk in and destroy her stuff. Unfortunately, some stuff did break. Now, everyone saw the video with the china in the bins. I don't see how that could be my fault with the way it was put in there like that, but you know, it is what it is. The fact is, like I said, I paid for everything out of kindness of my heart. With storage, you know, I moved everything for the most part by myself, even paid for the truck, never really asked her for anything, and you know, I guess she's sensitive about the broken glass, but you know, I don't think it's fair that, you know, that she would do that after everything I've done for her.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.